So yeah, that's methods, or at least as far as their syntax goes, in kind of a nutshell. We have our return type and we have our parameters. Just like up here on line 18, we have a return type and we have parameters. This code right up here isn't the code I have highlighted isn't particularly interesting. It does exactly what we did repetitively in this previous program. The only difference is that we use a prompt variable instead of hard coding the prompt into our code itself. That's the only difference. Other than that, you can take every, the existing perception you have about this code and use it because it does the exact same thing. It's just C# code. Just because it appears in a different method doesn't mean it's going to behave any differently. So I won't talk too much about that quite yet, but what I do want to talk about is this statement right here on line 29. You might have noticed that I've used the word return multiple times already, and that was to describe the return type of the method. But specifying return type of the method isn't enough. We actually have to return data of some sort. We can't just say, oh, I return a decimal, because and if you don't actually return a decimal, then you're kind of lying. It doesn't make any sense. You need to, whenever you specify that you are going to give something back to the user, whether that be a cup of coffee or a decimal or a string or a product or whatever, when you tell C# that your method gives something back, you have to actually give something back during the course of the method, or actually you'll get an error. In fact, if I were to remove this line of code right here by commenting it out, you'll notice that little curly brace got squiglified. If I hover over it, it says return statement is missing. It's because we've lied to C#.